Muted.
And we're going to go ahead and begin without the rest of the participants at this time. We don't want to wait any longer. So we're going to go ahead and start. So I'm going to begin by saying happy Friday, TGIF to everybody out there. It's been a long week. Welcome to CLS. This CLS webinar is going to focus on the semi-annual projects. We prefer now to call it double check and catch it all. So if you would like to dial in your participant code if you haven't already done that, and that will allow us to unmute your lines. So before I begin, I'd like to provide you with an outline of what we're going to cover today. The outline is what are semi-annual projects, best practice resource, why are semi-annual projects important, our expert introduction, our experts process, our best practice. We will have a brief group participation and additional resources before you go. So I'm your host today. My name is Tricia Stover. I am a coach here in the practice management department. And here is a map of our participants and all of our offices. The ones in yellow are our participants, and the ones in red are the rest of our offices. Now, since I can actually see who's participating today, and the others will follow, I am just going to briefly go over who is on the line with us. If you can hear me, we're going to start with Sharissa Borlis. Sharissa, if you can hear me, will you please tell everyone where you're from, which practice, and what your role is?
Okay, I am over there near the San Antonio office. I'm actually in Fredericksburg, and I am the Client Service Coordinator for Bridge North Wealth Advisors.
Thank you. And next we have Marlo Russell. Marlo, would you please share the same information about yourself?
Hi, I work in Port Huron for Jeff Wallace, and I'm a Client Service Manager.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
It's a little delayed, but I can hear you. So thank you both. Yep. So I'm going to keep the phone lines actually unmuted today because there's just the two of you right now. And what I would like to throw out there, I'm going to do things a little bit differently than we normally would due to the rest of the participants not logging in. So if you guys have any questions during this process, feel free just to, stop me along the way, and I'll be happy to help you. The only thing that I would ask is if you do have to grab a client or grab the phone, whatever, if it's outside of the webinar, that you don't put me on hold because of the hold music in the background. So if you need to step away from your desk, you can just mute me. Okay, so let's go on to what are semi-annual reports. Semi-annual reports are a series of reports on Advisor Compass and Contact Manager that are cross-referenced with the Connect tools to ensure accuracy. This detailed look ensures accuracy in your tracking processes and importing data year-round. Our best practice resource for you to refer back to would be in April and October of each year. Our practice management team this year, it was Kate Canfield, sent out an email to all of the clients recommending a series of tasks. And these individual resources can also be found in the respective ownership guides located in Turnkey Solutions. If either of you did not receive this email, let me know and we can make sure that you receive it again and make sure that you're on the distribution list. Did you both receive it?
Yes, ma'am.
I did.
All right, cool. So why are semi-annual projects important? So these reports and projects are important so nothing slips through the cracks. They're important because we need to make sure that annual obligations are met, clients are not missed on their trackers, keeps our trackers clean and accurate, ensures clients are serviced appropriately, meetings are balanced throughout the year, clients are assigned to the correct advisors if you're working with multiple advisors or advisors that are in team sharing compensation, compliance pieces captured before year end, and the delivery of plans and plan count closely monitored. So what are the semi-annual projects? They are the Alpha Code cross-reference, clients without a group service frequency, group service frequency monthly totals report, which gives a month-to-month balance of how many clients that are specified for that group service frequency, clients not serviced in the last 12 months, verification of RMDs in Connect, verification of managed accounts in Connect for SPS active portfolios, SMAs, and SPS advisor if applicable, and the financial planning tracker review and verification. So along with Marlo and Charissa, I want to introduce Carla DeShazer. Sorry, Carla. She is this week's content expert. I want to give you a little background on Carla before she says hello. Carla is the administrative assistant for Cornerstone Financial Group, also located in Southfield. The structure of her practice, she works for 8 advisors. There are 4 staff, including 1 team leader, 1 administrative assistant, and 2 business processors. So Carla is our content expert today because she is an experienced admin who takes proactive measures to support her team of advisors. In addition, she has excellent time management and organizational skills, and she's able to prioritize, and she has great communication skills with her team and advisor. This makes her an excellent choice for being our content expert, along with the fact that she actually works for 8 advisors, and I don't know how you do it. So Carla, go ahead and say hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you today?
Good.
So we call you the Superwoman over here.
I see.
Because out of all of the practices that we work with here in practice management, Carla actually handles the most advisors as an admin. So hats off to you for that.
Thank you.
Wonderful. You're welcome. I'd like to talk about your process a little bit and ask you a few questions that we've reviewed prior to the webinar. So
Okay.
We'll start by, because your practice is the way that it is, how do you decide, or how does your team decide to set up who completes which project for your practice and why?
The business processor completes the RMD tracker, the managed account tracker, and the financial planning tracker reports. I complete all the reports that are up under Contact Manager. These are designed roles based on who owns the tracker up under Connect, and that's assigned through our team lead, Mary Ann.
That is great. I love how you guys have that split out, and it's not uncommon to have multiple staff members take responsibility for their cross-referencing in their ownership for those tools in Connect. So do you complete the projects in a particular order?
Yes,
and
we
why?
start with code number, reports to make sure that all clients are accounted for before continuing on to doing any other type of reports. From there, we run the remainder of the reports with all the advisors. I download them to an Excel sheet, and I filter them, and I forward them to each advisor's email, and they give me feedback based on their filtering when they filter the spreadsheet based on how they want me to handle that.
I want to touch on something that you just mentioned that is very important, and that is that you start with the Alpha Num 1 report.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go ahead and explain the reasoning behind beginning with the Alpha Num 1. Because all of the reports in Contact Manager are filtered primarily by the Alpha Num 1, it's important to begin your reporting process with the Alpha Num cross-reference. If you run the other reports in Contact Manager and there's an Alpha Num 1 code missing, that information is not going to show up on the rest of your reports. So that is why it's so important to start with the Alpha Num. In addition, that is true. I love the fact that you download all of your advisors into one Excel sheet so you can sort them. Do you use separate tabs at the bottom of your Excel sheet?
Yes, I do, and I label them, you know, based on each advisor, and they're able to click on their name and go to just their record clients.
That's fantastic. So how long would you say it takes you and your team to complete all of the projects listed?
I would say probably about, we start at the beginning of the month, and it takes about 2 weeks. Our team lead, Marianne, she holds us accountable for those positions. So about 2 weeks it takes to complete those tasks.
Okay. Do you hold the rest of your team accountable for their projects? Do you follow along or check up on them, or do you just let them go ahead and complete their projects on their own?
Well, basically everyone does complete their projects on their own, but we do kind of like give each other feedback when something has been completed.
Okay. Do you customize any of your reports?
Yes, I do. Because it works for multiple, since I work for multiple advisors, I download each advisor individually and export them all into one Excel sheet, spreadsheet, and then I filter them by the advisor's name and their data.
And what is the feedback, or are your advisors supportive in overseeing these projects?
They're very supportive. The feedback is excellent. It helps them to see where they're at, especially if something has been missed or needs to be adjusted. So they give me pretty good feedback. Normally they'll send me an email or they'll walk over to the office and just let me know, okay, Carl, I need for you to do X, Y, and Z. So the feedback is awesome.
Great. Makes your job a lot easier when your advisor supports your processes and they understand what the objective is.
That's true. It makes all of our job easier. It assists them also.
Yep. So what proactive solutions have you experienced that have resulted from the semi-annual process?
Well, basically, this allows me to identify any changes that are in process, what each advisor's preference is based on the information that's in the report, It also allows me to balance advisors' calendars more accurately, and it helps me to identify any clients that we may have missed or need to be scheduled.
And would you recommend this process to every practice?
Yes, I would. When working with multiple advisors, it helps because you can't remember everything and everybody. It helps the system run smoothly and adjustments can be made accordingly. So yes, I do recommend this.
We do too. It makes a big difference in your yearly tracking and your information. So great. Sarah Leffler, I see that you have just called in. And if you would like to enter in your audio pin, we'll be able to communicate back and forth. If you choose not to do that, that's fine too. I just wanted to let you know that that was available. So welcome, Sarah. Sarah is in the Neesmith practice in North Carolina, Virginia border. So welcome, Sarah. At this time, I'm going to ask a poll question. Do you currently run semi-annual reports? Or do you run semi-annual reports twice a year, as recommended in April and October? Marlo, I know you haven't had the full year experience, so yours would be, are you planning to run them in April and October?
Yeah, I was so for this webinar, and then I'm going to do it next week.
Great. And Sharissa, I actually know that you are very diligent about running your semi-annual reports. So we can actually skip over the poll question. And I know Sarah has ran hers as well. So what I would like to do, Marlo, because this is fresh to you, I want to explain this a little bit more in depth of what the report is and also give a visual of what you're going to see or an expectation of what is going to be there for you and why we do this.
Okay.
So the first one, we talked about the alpha code cross-reference. So what is going to happen, and I'm going to ad hoc some of this here, once the alpha codes have been created in Contact Manager, you will need to review this list against the book of business. So you'll have to have the capability to run reports on behalf of your advisor and run their book of business. If you don't know where to find that book of business, your coach here will be able to help you, or the advisor himself will be able to show you where to find that book of business. So the book of business is listed by the primary client. So on that book, you're not going to necessarily see the husband and wife. You'll see one or the other. From this book of business, you will take that and put it in your Excel spreadsheet and sort that alphabetically. Once you do that, you're going to come to your Contact Manager and pull up your client list. And you're just going to go, they're both going to be in alphabetical order, and you're going to cross-reference that everybody on the book of business is also in Contact Manager with an alpha num. So Peggy, if you could run your mouse along the alpha num column, so this is what you're going to look for. So anybody in this left column that It's going to say none. It's going to say the advisor's name. It's going to say inactive. If you notice anybody in here that has none listed as their alphanum and they're on your book of business, you're going to know that that client needs an alphanumeric, an alphanum 1 added to their profile in Contact Manager. So there is a way to mass modify this, and again, your practice management coach will be able to walk you through a mass modification. And there's also an ownership guide. If anybody needs any ownership guides from this webinar, I would be happy to email them over to you at the end of the call. Sorry that was long-winded, but I felt like I needed to give you a little bit of background here. So the next 3 reports are Contact Manager reports, and we've gone ahead and whited out the client's name, contact name, ID, email, all of that information for the client's privacy. So the next 3 reports are Contact Manager, and once these reports are established and set up on your computer the first time, you will not need to go back and refilter them. So once they're set up here in April, then come October, you can just log in, pull up your Contact Manager, find your report, and go ahead and run them. The most time-consuming part of it is setting them up originally. And again, we can set them up for you. If you ask us to, we can do it during one of your calls, or you can do it from an ownership guide. So that's up to you. But we're here to help you through that, whatever you need. So the clients by meeting date report, this is what this is going to look like in Contact Manager. And this report helps identify clients who have not been serviced in over 12 months. The data will assist in recognizing clients who have been missed for some reason or another. They may need to be scheduled as soon as possible, or they are clients who could possibly be reassigned or sent to home office. So once this report is ran, you can click on the red menu button in the upper right hand, and it's going to give you a drop down. And this is very similar to importing your group service frequency. You just click on list options at the bottom and export your list over into Excel. And then once you get your report into Excel, you can manipulate the columns as you want. Carla actually has a really good practice that she uses once she exports her data into Excel. Carla, do you make any additions to your report?
I always add an extra column, and I'll label it details or response. That way the advisor could put whatever details that they want for me to add to Contact Manager when I go back and review the report per each client. So we always normally add an extra column, and the advisor is able to add any details that they want to add to that client's information.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea, especially because you are emailing multiple advisors. Some practices choose to sit down with their advisor and go over these reports face-to-face or verbally. Other practices will go through the data, determine what the advisor needs to see, and mark their information in the details column, and then the advisor can also make notations there and then email them back. So there's a variety of ways to communicate this information back and forth, just based on everybody's availability. So the next report is the No Group Service Frequency Report. And this is a very good tool for determining which clients do and do not have a group service frequency established. Could either be by choice or by oversight. It happens. Some clients are purposely not given a GSF due to the advisor's preference. However, if the client is identified not to have a GSF, then that client will need to be evaluated and perhaps given one. It's always best practice to regularly ensure that each client's GSF is appropriate for them. Again, we're looking for clients who have never received one, or maybe it had been removed in the past. There should be some clients on this list. You may see clients on this list that are my children. You may see trust accounts. You are going to see a variety of information on this report. As you will go along, you'll know. So come October, you're going to look at this list again. And if you save your spreadsheets from April, you can always cross-reference those with the ones that you run in October. Doesn't mean you should overlook the information, but there may be information in there that would be useful to you the next time around. So, Carla, for those clients that do not have group service frequencies, but the advisor doesn't want them to have group service frequency, what do you do with those?
Well, as you can see that column there that says remarks there, I'll add that to contact manager. That way, when that particular month comes around, I'll know, okay, the advisor doesn't want me to call this client, or this client, you know, or even if their group service frequency has changed. Maybe they were semi-annual and they want to make them an annual client now. So that column, adding that extra column, once again, when I send that report to the advisor, helps out because they may change that client's group service frequency. So adding that extra column always helps. They're able to put whatever details they want to put in that column, any adjustments that need to be made.
All right, and for the last contact manager report, this is the group service frequency all months report. This report helps manage the advisor's monthly meeting activity level by displaying the number of clients with the group service frequency in each month. It helps the advisor rebalance and create a more uniform number of meetings throughout the year. Say your advisor knows that, you know, he's going to be gone in August, or he doesn't want to see clients in December. You're actually able to go ahead and look at the year as a whole and make adjustments where you need to in advance before that time comes. You don't want to pull your group service frequency in for August and realize, oh my goodness, there are 50 clients that need to be scheduled and my advisor is only here 1 week of that month. So looking at this with your advisor, helping to adjust where needed will help the flow of the practice and your scheduling appointments in advance. The only notation I want to make here is the exception of financial planning clients due to their financial planning requirement timelines. Some advisors follow our best practice resources and tend to want to keep their financial planning clients in line with their in-force end date. So another poll question, whether it's relevant or not. I actually know this in advance. Do you complete the project independently or during your production meetings? I can actually figure this one out in my head.
It's not letting me answer.
We're over here giggling. We can see that you cannot answer. So, Marlo, your intention on running your report next week, do you intend to do that during your production call with Kate, or are you intending on tackling these on your own?
On my own, most likely.
Yep. All right. So moving on to the reports that are not contact manager related. We're going to start with the RMD verification in Connect. So using the most current RMD client list on Compass, the goal here is to compare and ensure that distribution numbers haven't changed. The purpose of the RMD tracking tool is to monitor the status of the client's RMDs. RMDs are taken from qualified accounts for clients once they've reached the age of 70 and a half years. This list on Advisor Compass is imported and downloaded into Connect, typically at the beginning of each year. And it also has the RMD amounts that must be taken before December 31st. So what I've done here is to give you a visual of the report on Advisor Compass and what it looks like. That is on the left. And on the right is your Connect RMD. I want to ask Sharissa and Marlo if you have both downloaded the new version of KMG Tools 1.7 located on your Turnkey Solutions site.
I believe so.
Okay. So this is important. This is the newest version. And I just wanted to make sure that you had that available and that it's been downloaded. So the RMD tracking tool is beneficial in your yearly tracking. Something that we recommend is using the details column in the tracking tool. Over on the right side of Connect, on the picture on your screen, right here in the details column, there are ways to help you through the year to know what's going on with that client and their RMDs. Information such as listing that they have an SPO. So when you go into this into your RMD tracker in October and you see that, okay, 80% of the RMD has been already distributed, not that you don't need to go and check, because you still need to go in and check, but you automatically know that this client has a systematic payout. So that will be helpful throughout the year as you're tracking your RMDs. Other information that you can add into here is if the RMD is from an inherited account, you can add things like next meeting date. You can pretty much tailor this any way that you want to in order to help you manage this report throughout the year. So what you're going to do in April is you're going to run the report on Advisor Compass. You're basically just going to cross-reference that all of the clients are on this list, and you're also going to verify the year-end withdrawal RMD amount. Okay, and the next one is the managed accounts in Connect verification. Same concept as the RMD cross-reference. You'll use the managed accounts actions at a glance report from Advisor Compass. You're going to verify that your tracker reflects the same status home office indicates for your managed accounts. So on the left is your Advisor Compass report, and on the right is your Connect. I want to add here, in the upper left-hand corner of the Advisor Compass report, there is a drop-down where it says Action. So right here, if you want to export this report into a data only, you're going to want to export that as a CSV type, and it's going to place this into an Excel type document with only the data. It's not going to contain any of the boxes or titles or anything else on that list. It's just going to have the data. So again, once you export that to Excel, you can go ahead and manipulate that report any way that you would like. The purpose of this verification is to, again, just cross-check that everybody on the Managed Accounts at a Glance report is also in your Connect tracking tool. And the last one is the Financial Planning Tracker. So our recommendations for this semi-annual project for the Financial Planning Tracker is that we recommend that you review your financial planning report to identify if there's any issues. What you're looking for specifically is to identify any clients that have plans that are coming due now or in the next couple of months. And you're also going to take a quick glance of what is due before the end of the year. These clients are identified by having an in-force end date on or before December 31st of 2016, and they're going to show as undelivered in the status in your financial planning report. In addition to that, you're also going to be looking for clients that have any unpaid fees. These clients are identified by having a difference in the fees quoted and fees paid. Now, those of you who are familiar with the Financial Planning Tracker, if you use your slide bar at the bottom of your spreadsheet, it will show you the difference in fees quoted and fees paid year to date. Take a look at this, and it's important that if there has not been an arrangement that has been set up, or if the fees paid are zero, that we identify the clients and the advisor reach out to them and have a discussion on how they're planning on paying for their financial plans. A lot of the financial plans are set up with a systematic payout or an automatic credit card. Again, if no arrangements have been made, further steps to contacting the client will be high priority. So for the last part of our webinar, you don't have to raise your hand if you have any questions, but I would like to open this up for discussion if there are any questions. So the floor is yours. Something I did want to ask, oh, Marlo, go ahead.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
Did you raise your hand?
Oh, just because it asked me to.
Oh, it did. Sorry about that. So I want to ask if anyone does not know where to find the Managed Accounts at a Glance report or the RMD report. Does everyone know where to find these on Advisor Compass?
Yes.
Yep, okay. All right. Well, if there are no other questions this afternoon, I want to thank each of you for taking the time out to join us today and to go over our processes here. So if there are other questions or if there's anything that you're uncomfortable talking about at this time, we'll stand by for the next 10 minutes after the call for anyone that does have questions. We're also going to send out a PDF follow-up as well as a survey. And don't forget that you are each other's best resources. So the more you share with each other, the more we all learn. I want to thank you, Carla, for sharing your processes with us and all the hard work that you do for your practice as well.
You're welcome.
All right. And with that said, I hope everybody has a great weekend. And if you need help with any of these in the future, please know that we're here for you.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend. You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.